Hello and welcome to your sewer scope. This is me just kind of showing you where we're at in the basement. There's the clean out that we pointed out earlier. Cast iron. For most of the run here, we are cast iron. As we get towards the end, we do switch over to clay pipe. The cast iron sections, roughly for the first 90 or so feet is in decent condition. Cast iron metal pipe like this will corrode on the inside of the pipe. And here's a little bit of a low spot right here. There'll be another one up at about the 74-foot mark, but cast iron is going to corrode on the interior of the pipe. The exterior will look pretty normal, no different really than when it was manufactured. It's the inside that starts to break down. How quickly it breaks down will really depend upon soil content, how much moisture on average is in the soil on any given year. But again, this is pretty decent shape. I was really hoping that we were going to have a smooth run through here without any major issues. Just a point of fact, the water is going to be the indicator as to where the bottom of the pipe is. Because I don't use a self-leveling head on my camera, you notice that the water is up at the top of your screen. That's actually the bottom of the pipe. That's your information source for figuring out which is up and which is down. Another low spot in the pipe, holding water for a little bit. Not overly normal for cast iron to have low spots. There are two sections in there. Not necessarily a major concern, but just something to be aware of. Here's our first issue. What I'm doing is basically butting up against roots at this point. You'll get a better view once I'll push through it, which I did there, cleared it out a little bit, knocked a hole through it. It was, and you'll see, it is completely blocked. That's the second issue. We'll come back to that here in a second. All right, so that's that mess of roots right there. Literally the entire circumference of the pipe is clogged up with roots. When we went underwater, when we were coming up onto that, that's where the pipe switched over to clay. This could be the final connection to the city. I'll talk more about that shortly. I'm going to just try to push through this again, not terribly difficult, and then the second issue is the offset in the pipe. Show you that in just a second here. Okay, so there's that offset. It's a fairly substantial lip right there that I wasn't able to jump over. Now, normally when, again back to roots, normally when a pipe transitions from the lateral run to where it connects to the city, usually there's two drops in the pipe. You've got your initial drop down where the pipe tilts down, and then a secondary tilt into the connection. It's not a straight shot into the pipe usually. It's more of, again, a two-step process to drop it down. Um, could that big lip be one of the drop-down points, the initial drop-down? Potentially. It would just be speculation on my part, but sometimes if you have an aggressive enough tilt in the pipe, that you will create either a little bit of separation or a lip like you see there. Now, what I've done is I turned on the water at the utility sink to try to get a big flow of water. Sometimes when you run into an obstacle in a pipe, getting a high volume of water in the line helps you to almost kind of surf over the top of whatever obstacle that you're running up against. I was not able to do that. Basically, wasn't able to float over the top of this, unfortunately. I'll continue on for another couple minutes or so to see if I can get past it. Wasn't able to do it. The other thing that I'll do is I'll turn the water off again. Try to push as much of the water out of the way as possible, and then see if I can see anything further up. Looking to see if I do see the drop down into the city connection. Really, the only thing that I see up ahead is more root intrusion on the next connection point. I've gotten up and walked over to the utility sink at this point. Um, I'll come back in a second. I'll keep trying to pull back and forth, and again keep trying to get a good look at what I can see up ahead. So that's a big enough offset where I would be concerned. I don't know if it would be the city's responsibility or your responsibility. You may see if the Department of Public Works will take a look at the pipe and see what they think. Also, definitely would recommend having it cleaned out, get rid of those roots. That has not been done in a very long time, so that would be a prudent thing to do as well. I'll stick with this for just a little bit longer, and then I will pull back to the beginning. I keep the camera running on the return trip, so you're more than welcome to watch that. Please reach out to me with questions or if you need some assistance.